In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Omas Marconi fountain pen. I'll go over the specs, I will do a writing sample, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this pen coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, it really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. This is the Omas Marconi limited edition fountain pen. And this pen was released in 1995, and it was released to celebrate the 100th anniversary of radio. Guglielmo Marconi discovered radio waves in 1895, and this pen celebrates that discovery. There's a couple of cool details on here that have to do with the radio. They released a couple different versions of this. There's this blue vegetal resin version, which they did in 4,000 pieces, and then they did a sterling silver one, which I believe was done in a little bit lower number. However, this is the better looking one. This pen was lent to me by Penchetta, which is a fantastic pen and knife store in Scottsdale, Arizona. They have 3 of them, I believe. Right now they have one on their website listed for $3.99, which I think is a very fair price for high quality Omas limited edition, especially one that isn't just like some variation on a Paragon. This one really has some unique features, and this one has a unique design. It comes with a really nice wooden box that isn't, so big that it takes up so much space, but it's just done in a nice way with like a metal plaque. I'll try to put a picture of that. Really nice box comes with this, and you know me, I don't normally like or care at all about boxes, but this one was like, oh, that's one that I'd actually like to have. But anyway, these are really nice pens. They currently have one on their website for $3.99, and let's walk through the pen. So it has flat tops, and I believe it will stand on the desk. Yep, it will. It's piston filler. We have an 18 karat gold nib on here. And let's talk about the design, which is really interesting. There's no finial or anything on the bottom. They're flat tops, as I said. The silver rings here that are in the body are supposed to represent radio waves, so you can kind of see them emanating out from the cap rings, so they get wider and wider. I think that's a really neat detail. And then the clip here, is designed to resemble a straight key, which you would use to transmit Morse code. So it's quite a cool looking clip. It is, I think, stamped metal, although it is finished really nicely. We have pretty much a right angle here, and it tapers towards that straight key design. There's also a little indentation in here. It looks really nice. And then if we look at the cap band here, it doesn't go straight to the edge. We do have some resin at the end there. On the cap ring, we can see it says Marconi 95, and then QSL, which would be like a two-way radio confirmation. And then finally it says Omas. And then in terms of uncapping this, it's about 2 1/4 turns. And then we have a very nice section here. It's a very long section, and the step here is really minimal. Like, you can hold it here, that's not going to be uncomfortable. There's nothing sharp there. And actually the step from the body to the section is also very minimal. And then we have the threading at the end of the grip section there. And then we have the very nice special looking Marconi, which says 1895 to 1995 and 750, because this was 18 karat gold. And this is a fine, as you can see, marked on the side there. And then we have a ebonite feed. Now, this is a piston filler. This back knob right here is the piston knob. There is no ink window. The other thing is on the section we can see the number here, 724. This would have been 724 out of 4,000 pens made for this limited edition. Now, in terms of the measurements, 122 uncapped. Actually, let's do posted next. It does post. It becomes long, but because this pen is pretty lightweight, it's not so bad. At about 176, and then capped, looking at about 139 almost. Now, in terms of the grip section, I'm going to do it from far back here because I think this would actually be usable, 12.2, and then to right before the threading, looking at 11.3. So nice full-size grip section. In terms of the barrel, looking at roughly 13.4. Now the weight, the one thing about this pen that really struck me when I picked it up is it's super lightweight, which A lot of pens these days just aren't, but these old Omas pens were. So 14.46 grams, and then with the cap, looking at 24. So quite a lightweight pen, very, very comfortable. It does become long when it's posted. It fits my hand, the balance, quite nicely, but if you have smaller hands, it may become a little bit back heavy for you, but it's quite a light, comfortable pen. I've really enjoyed using it. Now let's do some size comparisons. So here it is with a Omas Paragon in titanium. You can see it's essentially the exact same size. Here it is with a Mont Blanc 149. Here it is with a Optima, and then a Pilot Vanishing Point. For the writing sample, I'm going to be using a Papermind Tomoe River notebook. These notebooks are excellent for fountain pens, and for Blake's Broadcast viewers and subscribers, you can get 10% off with code BB10 at checkout. This is the Omas Marconi, and this is a fine nib, and this is diamine canal side ink. Try fast writing. That was me that skipped, not the pen. Very nice performance. You know, these old Omas nibs were really nice, and they're just so lovely being attached to such a lightweight pen. Really nice writing pen. In terms of flexibility, you can get a little bit. It's not a lot, though. I would be very careful about pushing on this, but you can get a little bit of a difference there. In terms of reverse writing, it does it. It's a little scratchy, although not terribly so. It's interesting. I don't think you gain anything out of it, though, by doing that, so I think there's kind of no point to it. But overall, this is a really nice, enjoyable fountain pen. So what are my pros and cons for the Omas Marconi fountain pen? Well, I think it's a very good looking fountain pen, and it's a unique looking fountain pen. Just the blue resin with the silver rings sort of radiating out from the middle of the pen, I think looks really cool. I love that that represents sort of radio waves. You also have the straight key clip here. It's just a neat looking pen. I also like that this is one of the more, I would say, affordable limited edition Omas pens that you could get, and it's affordable while still having a very distinct look. It's not like just another take on a Paragon like many of the, I would say, more affordable Omas limited edition or special edition pens were. So you get a really unique looking pen, and these are pretty reasonably priced. I also really like how lightweight this pen is. It is just feather light, and it just makes for the pen to be more comfortable. You also have a very long grip section here, which I appreciate. There is this little step, but it's not really something that gets in the way. You also get a unique nib special to this fountain pen, which I think is just really, really nice. And of course, being from 1995, this was still the original company in the hands of the family before it was sold. You have an Omas made nib here. Really, really nice writing. Just overall, a very enjoyable pen. It does post quite nicely and securely, and it balances well in my hand, at least. Now, in terms of cons, they don't make these anymore. That's kind of the number one thing. So you will have to try to find a used one, or you might be able to find a new old stock one, but they're not readily available. Even though I said this is one of the more affordable Omas limited editions, it's still not a cheap pen. I think the right price for this pen is $500 or less. Maybe if it's just like sealed, brand new, it could be more. But that's still a pretty expensive pen, but you are getting a unique look, and you're getting that original Omas quality and writing experience, which I think is really, really nice. But that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this pen? Do you like this pen? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, and until next time.